this is Bob Pockrass, and welcome to a little SceneDaily.com post-Thanksgiving discussion. I'm here with Kris Johnson, and it's after Thanksgiving, so it must be time for the Sprint Cup Awards ceremony.
Woohoo!
Going to New York.
No.
Oops.
Hey,
no, I'm not. We're going to Vegas. If you're going to New York, you'll just have a big Christmas tree, and I don't know what's going on at the Waldorf or Astoria, but I know it's not the NASCAR Sprint Cup banquet. It's moved to the Wynn in Las Vegas. What do you think, Kris?
I think after a 27-year run in New York, it was time for change, and I think it's going to be a great thing in Vegas, and I'm especially excited about Frank Caliendo being the host. I think that's going to add a little spice. I know celebrities haven't had much success in this format, but I think he's a perfect choice. A lot of reasons to be excited about it, I think.
Well, Frank was actually the host of the 2003 Nationwide Series banquet and was great. Yeah. And he even did some spots for the 2008 Cup banquet while the TV was in commercials. So he'll definitely do a good job. I'm still kind of wait and see on Vegas. I kind of like New York. I thought it was important for NASCAR to be in front of the people who make the decisions for a lot of the big companies and a lot of the sponsors in the sport. Allowed team owners possibly to drop in and see people that they don't normally get to see. But, I mean, a flight to New York from where most of these guys are in Charlotte's just an hour and a half. They can do that, I guess, at other times. Just kind of wait and see. Obviously, we know it'll be cheaper in Las Vegas for most of the people going. And I think NASCAR got a little bit of cash from the people in Las Vegas as well to go there.
That never hurts, and I think NASCAR did a wise thing. You know, they have that ancillary media event. Jimmy went up already, and you know they had a day in front of the media up there, so they get that little bang, they get the positive PR. But I think this whole notion of getting the fans more involved in Las Vegas, which they'll do to a certain extent this year, and more hopefully in the future, is a good thing.
I think so. Now, one thing that's not changing about the banquet is that the top 10 drivers are going up on stage to talk. Now, it's always been the top 10, but ever since the chase went to 12, it almost seems like, well, what about the 11th and 12th place guys? Shouldn't, if you make the chase, should you get to be on stage?
I've never understood that, and I've always had a real problem with that. If you make NASCAR's quote-unquote playoff, you're deserving of a spot in front of the audience at the end of the year. You know, you give your sponsors that hit for the exposure. It just doesn't make any sense. What, they can't find room for 2 extra people? 2 extra teams?
I kind of agree with you, but I think, you know, well, hey, you got to be in the top 10 to make the banquet. The one thing I would like to see change is that the crew chief doesn't get to speak at the banquet anymore. So he speaks in kind of the awards ceremony that's the day before. I'd like to see the crew chief back on of the winning team at the banquet. I'd rather see him than 11th and 12th place. Yeah, finished 11th and 12th. Do I really need to hear from you anymore?
Carl Edwards and Brian Vickers might disagree, but I don't know. I can go either way on that with the crew chief, but I really think the 11th and 12th place team should be there.
So the funny thing is that those guys possibly had contests for fans to come and join them at the banquet.
Right.
They still can go to the banquet. They're still invited to the banquet. Their fans just won't get to see them on stage.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll see what happens on Friday night in Las Vegas. We'll see if it works any better than it did in New York City, and we'll have a big wrap-up for you on SceneDaily.com. Thanks for joining us.